Hey Cougars, welcome back. We are covering our seventh behavior expectation, or PBIS school-wide expectations. How are we supposed to behave in the library?
Oh my gosh.
And so,
I love this day.
You love, well, you probably love the library.
I do.
My guess is you love books.
I mean, it's nice and quiet in there and cold, and especially with the hot weather right now. And I do love books. Yeah.
You know what I love? I love just some quiet, peaceful time to read a book.
Yeah.
I love it. I have kids, so I don't get that very often, unless I like tape them up and tie them up and throw them in the closet.
Then you can finally read.
I don't really do that. I promise I don't do that. No, we actually have reading time at home.
Aww.
We all get home. When I get home from work and they get home from school, we sit on the couch and we put our feet up and we read for half an hour every day.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, we like it a lot.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are we gonna do?
Well, we're going to be respectful in the library.
And responsible and safe.
And safe.
So let's
Like
look at
always.
what it looks like to be respectful in the library. Go for it.
All right, well, when you go into the library, you shouldn't be screaming your head off.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, you should be really quiet because it's preparing you for going to the big library, because you have to be really quiet there too, and at a school or at a college library, you know.
Well, the truth is, libraries, people are there to read. They like to get their book and they like to go and they sit and they read.
Yeah.
And when someone's like talking super loudly, it's very disruptive. It's distracting. And so we're going to be respectful while we're in the library by making sure that we use our quiet voices to ensure that other people can read in peace and quiet.
Yeah.
And there's lots of kids in there. It's a small room. So,
Yeah. What else?
All right. Well, first of all, you gotta raise your hand.
Oh.
Like if you want something, you gotta raise your hand. That's just being respectful in the classroom too. If you want something, you raise your hand. If you need some help, you raise your hand, and then the librarian, Miss Jensen, she will see your hand up and say, "Oh, how can I help you?" But it's really important that we're not yelling across the room that we need help. Okay. What else?
All right. Well, the Miss Jensen, her desk area, has a lot of important things on it.
Yeah.
So best not to even approach it.
Yeah, that when they get their library books, there's a line lots of times, and sometimes while we're in that line, we're kind of rambunctious and disrespectful to her and her trying to do her work.
Oh dear.
So we can be respectful by standing and lying quietly because she's trying to help the student that's right in front of her, and she doesn't want to be distracted by students that are in line. So let's be mindful about that, okay?
Yeah.
Responsible.
Well, before you leave, you need to push in your chair.
Yep.
And just
clean up that
clean
area.
your area. You never know what you could.
Well, you got somebody else coming back here, coming in after you, and you want to make sure that it's not Miss Jensen isn't like the waiter. She's not there cleaning up, bussing tables, cleaning up after you. So it's really important that you use the area, push the chair in so it's not in the way. That becomes a safety issue, and then you go about your business. So that's a nice way to do it. We can also make sure we treat our books with care. These are not your books or my books. They are the school's books.
Yes.
Right? And we want to make sure that every student that comes through has a chance to read that book. So we're going to take really good care of them. How do we treat books with care?
Well, I mean, if you're actually reading it, you should just be like holding it like this, and maybe like rest it on the table or something like that.
Yeah.
And and then when you're turning the pages, you just do it nicely like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to me, that's treating the book with care.
Yeah, and you know what? Let's not bend the corners of the book, of the pages.
No.
Sometimes people are like, "Oh, I don't have a bookmarker. I don't, I'll just bend the corner." The problem is it creases the book and it wrecks the page. So we don't bend over corners on library books. We use a bookmarker, and I know that Miss Jensen has a lot of those. So,
good.
so let's make sure that we're using a bookmarker and not bending the page.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, we're going to follow instructions or directions. When you're asked to do something, what do?
Follow the directions.
So you just do it.
Yeah.
You just do it. Whatever those are, you just do it. That's what you're supposed to do. And that's a great way of being responsible.
Yeah.
So let's stay safe by keeping your hands, feet, and objects to yourself.
Wow.
You sit in your space properly, not leaning back, not tipping over, not with your foot up on the desk. None of those things. We're going to make sure that we sit properly in those chairs, at those tables, to make sure that we're safe.
Yep.
Good. And
we're always going to walk. Yeah, I feel like the walking and the hands, feet, and objects, that just keeps coming up over and over and over. And I've said that, I feel like the word walk has been just in my immediate vocabulary for about 6 days now.
It's true.
Yeah.
And because we have a lot of students who get hurt because they're not walking and they're not keeping their hands, feet, and objects to themselves. It's a huge safety issue on campus. If students are careful to walk, then they fall into holes less, turn their ankles less, they trip less. they slip less. It's just a really, really good way to make sure that you're stable and that you are safe. And so we want to make sure we're always walking in the hallways, in the classrooms, in the library, wherever we are. Make sure we're walking carefully and make sure that we are safe in our actions. So that's how we can be respectful, responsible, and safe in our library. And I want to encourage you guys to always follow these rules. I love it when you do, and your librarian and your teacher will appreciate it too.
Yes, they will.
All right, Cougars, that's all for now. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.